The area's biggest rallies last year, in downtown Sanford and in the historically black community of Goldsboro, protesters called for Zimmerman's arrest and the police chief's job.
No peace! No peace!
Frances Oliver, Goldsboro's Welcome Center director and curator of its museum across the street, says the demonstrations led by the NAACP and Reverend Al Sharpton marked the beginning of a turning point.
We welcome the pressure being put because, see, we've been putting pressure on the Sanford Police Department for years and had gotten nothing done. And if something had been done, that night wouldn't have never happened.
Chief Bill Lee was eventually fired. Oliver says there's still a long way to go to rebuild trust with the police, but in just the last month, some city leaders have taken steps to improve relations between law enforcement and citizens who feel they've been underserved. However, she says when Sanford's new chief, Cecil Smith, starts in April, he'll have a tough job.
When he comes, he can't step too high, he can't sidestep, and he can't backstep. He's got to step forward and step right.
Other residents have a different perspective on the past year. In downtown Sanford, musician Nick Cardinale says things haven't changed much for him.
I've been seeing a lot more police cars and stuff cruising, but other than that, as far as the case or anything, no. Everything seems to be business as usual.
But inside downtown's Corner Cafe, owner Chef Michael O'Brien says he thinks things are better now than they were because the Trayvon Martin case was not swept under the rug. O'Brien says the Sanford police do try to reach out and be part of the community.
I think they've always done that. As a business owner, I've been to countless meetings where, we want to hear what your concerns are, what your needs are, and they respond.
And O'Brien says he doesn't think what happened between Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman was about race.
It looks like we had someone overstep their authority. That would be George Zimmerman. It looks like we had someone who comes from an area in Miami, Trayvon, where things are much less neighborly. And I think when those two things came together, you had worlds colliding, and it came to a bad result.
Nor is race the main concern for Goldsboro Museum volunteer Nikki Clayton. She says the shooting was a tragic situation that could have happened to anyone's child.
Instead of bombarding everything with race, wipe that out and just think about that kid's death. That's just my perspective on it.
Clayton says it's taking longer than she thought it would for the community to come together.
I've seen the divide of going to the commissioners' meeting and you have white sitting on one side and black sitting on the other side. We don't need to go back in those times. This is the time now. Everybody needs to start banding together.
Banding together was also the theme of a candlelight vigil attended by a few hundred people in downtown Sanford on the anniversary of Trayvon Martin's death. Frances Oliver, also one of the vigil organizers, says there are clear signs that Sanford's concerned black citizens are not alone.
Because we know now as the African American community, we're not just by ourselves. Our voices are finally being heard.
George Zimmerman's second-degree murder trial is scheduled to begin June 10th. I'm Nicole Creston, 90.7 News.